Hi, and welcome to this week's Monday Minutes. My name is Jessie, and this is
Kelly. Hi, Jessie. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing this week, Kelly?
It's great. We are taking a step into the Koha community today in this Monday Minutes. We are going to show people how to sign off on a bug.
Perfect.
So this is really exciting. We will link to a little bit more in depth about the sandboxes that Kyle and Nick did, that town hall. But we're going to take a bug that's in the sign-off process that needs a sign-off and go through those steps. Okay, you ready, Jessie?
Ready. So what's the first thing we need to do is obviously find that bug that needs the sign off. And if you watch some of our earlier Monday Minutes, we show you how to search Bugzilla and find those. So right now, Kelly has pulled up bug 18532. Kelly, tell us about this bug.
So this is, it says status needs sign off. So I know that it does need 2 sign-offs in the Koha community for it to move forward. This is about auto renewals. A lot of libraries have jumped onto the auto renewal bandwagon, and I love it because then they don't have to worry about patrons not having overdues. They're
Right.
constantly able to have it renewed. However, there's been some desire to have this as a messaging preference, which I think is a great idea as well. So what you're ultimately going to need to know is, let's look at the test plan and see if we feel comfortable in what it wants us to do to sign off. So it's going to give us a test plan to tell us step by step what to do. So usually it's at the bottom generally. So I'll go to the bottom. There we are. Okay. So this is the test plan, and really it's actually an easy one. So it just says we need to apply the patches and then make sure you can actually physically see the auto renewals in that patron messaging preference. Both step 1 and 2 is done by the sandboxes. So it is going to set up a sandbox specifically for this bug. So it's going to have the abilities already in there.
Which is good because sometimes people will look at this and say, I don't even know what that means when it says Perl installer data MySQL update database.pl. So again, the sandbox will do this for you. And Kelly and I can both reiterate and say, like, this is a huge step for people to be able to test in the Koha community and feel comfortable doing it.
Right. And both Jessie and I think, just recently signed off on our first bug officially for the last release. And if you do it, your name gets into the manual, the release notes.
It's so exciting. I had 3 in the last one.
I had 3 too. Oh, okay. So we found our bug. We found it in need sign off. Next step is we're going to go to the sandbox manager and create a sandbox. Here, this is the sandboxes, and we'll share this link, of course, in the blog post with step by step. I'm going to go through the create. Once you create it, it takes about 10 minutes. So I've already created one for this, but I'm going to go through the steps to show you what you do. Your name. So this actually is going to appear on Bugzilla. So you usually want to put first and last name. An email address. You're going to give your sandbox a name.
And I will point out here, it has to be lowercase letters and numbers. And I remember the first time I did this, I accidentally put in some uppercases, so be cautious of that.
It won't let you save.
It won't let you save.
Then you put in the bug number that you're going to sign off, 18532. You can ignore get remote. You don't have to put a description. You do not have to put a note. You just have to answer this last question, which we know is Koha. The login will be Koha. So you know how to get into the staff client and the OPAC if necessary. And then we're going to go ahead and submit. That is going to show up like this. So you can see this is the one I created. It's actually setting up. So it says provision pending. The one I set up prior to this, it's provisioned. It has a link to both my staff client and my OPAC, and I can easily go there. Okay, what's our next step, Jessie?
Now we're going to go over and click on that staff button, and that will open a new tab, and it will take us into the staff client. Perfect. And again, you'll be prompted to log in with the username and password that's listed on that previous page. So in the testing plan, it wanted us to verify in administration that we had our circ rules set up. So let's double check our circ rules. Make sure we have that auto renewal feature turned on.
Absolutely. Something I love about sandboxes is they're so clean and simple.
I know, and it's really easy to get in there and see what is up, especially when there's only one circ rule.
Exactly. So I'll just go straight to edit it, and let's see. It is set up for auto renewals. That we have that no renewal before, and we know that they have one renewal, and it's for 5 days. So we're good to go.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. And that's really all it said to do, right? Mm-hmm. Make renewals and then grab a patron. So there aren't a ton of patrons in our database. I usually just search for A because there's only about 10 people in here. We'll go to this first one.
One of my favorite patrons.
Is it? Oh, good. Mm-hmm. And under your patron messages, there's auto renewals. So let's just, go through like, oh, I'm going to pretend, yep, this works. I click the buttons. It's there. And then it's a really good idea is to think what other areas you might see this in, because you want to see the whole picture. Sometimes the test plan just gives you the steps, but you are thinking like a librarian, and that's the point of a sign-off, is to make sure that it works as you expect it to. So I would say, even though the test plan doesn't say it, I would probably want to see if I could do this from the OPAC. Right?
Let's check it.
Yep. So I'm going to pop back over to my other tab and go into my OPAC. Let me just log out and we'll pretend. Log it back in.
Okay. Right, because in a real case scenario, you will have to log in for the first time.
Yep. Okay, so under messaging, let's see. There's renewals. Perfect. So I could easily mark those, say I just want to get an email and digest, and we're good to go.
Perfect.
So really, it's a display. We want to make sure that that can be activated. It's appearing in both the staff side and the OPAC. So we did good, I think.
Perfect. Kelly, let's go back to that Koha Sandbox Manager page and let's just show them a few things. Let's do a quick refresh because we'll notice now that the provision pending, once we refresh, should have an update that will tell us now it is provisioned. So you can see those 2 or 3 minutes where we were testing, that's how quickly your sandbox will get set up. So once you see that it's provisioned, your site should be ready to jump right into that staff and OPAC side so you can begin testing. Now, Kelly, let's walk through the actions so we can actually sign off on this bug.
Yep, perfect. Here under this actions, there are a few other actions you can do. So if in the test plan it says restart services, do a full zebra index, those will be commands you can easily do from this action button. I'm going to actually sign off. Something to note, sandboxes are only good for 1 day. So if you think you're not going to get to it, you provisioned it, you're ready to go, and then you got distracted like so many of us do, you have up to 2 renewals. So you can renew a sandbox. And if you don't, you could recreate it if it does expire. So all I'm going to do is sign off. And here's the information. I've already created this. It's going to take my information. Generally, it's a 1 patch. So mine is 1 patch. And then I would just, again, answer my kind of CAPTCHA question, I guess, and hit that submit button.
Awesome.
Yep. And I kind of get a little indication that it was signed off. There you go.
There we go. So now, Kelly, let's show them what it looks like on that page.
Okay. So let's go back over to this page. I'm going to refresh that. Okay. Let's see.
There we go.
Because I had to test it to make sure. So there it is. So it has 2 sign-offs. So we're in a good place here.
Perfect. High five.
High five. So,
And if you're looking to start doing some sign-offs with smaller bugs, reach out to any one of us and we will gladly point you in a direction. Or if you're working with one of our support team members and you have an open bug that you want to sign off on and see how it works, perfect opportunity. We can walk you right through that process.
Mm-hmm. The more bugs that we can sign off, the more bugs that get fixed and get into future releases. So it's an exciting process. Okay, thanks, Jessie. Have a great week.
You too, Kelly. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.